This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. There's a phrase that has been around for many, many decades, if not hundreds of years. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, meaning it's very subjectionable what you see, and what makes you feel good might not, align with somebody else. Today, we're going to talk about art and what is art. And interestingly, our next guest does photography, but turns it into art. Sometimes people don't see it that way, especially galleries, which blows my mind because his work is so robust, and he's a photographer, but he's also an artist at the same time. And I've always thought that of photographers, but he takes it to a new level in terms of his creativity. Alan Goldberg, our professional of the year, is back with us. How are you doing today?
Doing very well. We're just rolling along. I've got a few more pictures that I've got to edit for this job that I was at last week at Mar-a-Lago, and it just never ends. And yesterday, we had a teacher planning day, so I didn't have to get to school until 8 o'clock. But I woke up the same time, and I said, I'm going to use this time creatively. Went down to the beach and took I was hoping for a decent sunrise, but it was just a whole bunch of dramatic clouds and high surf. But I still have pictures to work on from that. And then after school, I went to this wildlife preserve. This isn't from yesterday, but one of my times before. It's a male great white heron. And it was just the angle that I caught him, and the water behind him. And when it comes to wildlife photography, I'm not the top dog, because there's a lot of guys that are better than I am, and but I think I do an adequate job.
This photograph that's in the background, and for those listening, it's a little bit of a branch there, and I can't even describe what it is about it, but it grabs you. And I like to call it negative space to the right, where it's just the pond. It's a color, really, just the gray of the water, so to speak. But the angle of his head and his wings, you feel that he's inquisitive. He's got the potential to take off in a second if he wanted to. And just the texture on the feathers, it almost looks, and I hate to say this, but this is like the kind of the baseline, almost looks like AI. It's so good. When it's an AI picture because it looks fabricated, but so perfect.
The AI pictures and even the people that AI creates is gotten to the point where anybody in the know realizes that it is not a real person.
Yeah.
There's the skin is too polished if it's a person, or there's just a certain gleam off of the background or the objects in it. And you know what? It's not a bad thing, because it kind of like is a, hello, AI, I'm not real, but this is what the advertisers wanted me to be like. So, I kind of feel like in a Blade Runner replicant kind of thing, or ad, or just from the sci-fi movies of the 70s and 80s. And it's not art, it's a useful tool, but I'd rather have a real person talk to me.
100%. And it's my belief, with all this impersonal connection, social media, even though it's social, we're really not connected. It's people behind a keyboard. Then, you make a phone call to a company, you got to go through prompts. You never talk to a human, texting, chat bots, all of that AI now. I really feel that we are going to be craving connection very soon. And we're working our way toward that, whereby people are not going to resonate with that AI picture. They're going to feel something off about it because I believe it's also the energy that goes into something where you as an artist put an energy in, we can feel it and detect it. And there's a genuineness to it. AI is very sterile. So I think, true picture taking is coming back.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed or I've heard in discussion groups is that the new, the latest generation of whatever the 20 somethings is called, I forget what letter we're up to or whatever, but hey, I'm a boomer. And so, this is all like, you want to call yourself this, then fine. And I talked to you before about being the last Korean War baby kind of thing too. But they are actually going back to shooting raw film.
Yes, Generation Z, and spot on with that. I've been to places. I hang out everywhere. I don't care how old people are, whatever, and saw that where I walked up like, oh, check you out. You're using a regular camera, and they're like, yeah, it's my it's my mom's camera, and I love it. I love getting away from my phone. I want to kick myself for throwing out. In the last few years when I moved, I had a Nikon Coolpix. I had, some other cameras, and I just like, what am I going to do with these? I use memory cards and threw them out. I wish I had them.
I still, I think I told you before, I still have my dad's Kodak 620 bellows camera that he got for his 13th birthday, and my mom's twin lens Rolleiflex. They take 120 film.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know whether you can even still get 120 film, but there's also I don't believe I have any 35 millimeter cameras left.
You know what? I gave one to my sister, and she never gave it back. So thank you for that reminder. And this was decades ago. And it was a Minolta, and I miss it actually. Back in the day, I'm curious, did you process your own film, black and white?
I did some.
Me too.
I had a friend of mine who had a studio, and he let me process the black and white. If you mean process by going into a dark room.
Yeah, you develop
really.
the negatives, and then do the prints within a larger.
Well, I did some of that with the black and white. My good friend Jules, and he is a day younger than I am, and he was a studio photographer, did weddings, bar mitzvahs, and the whatnot, and I would go and help him develop stuff. But I also, at another time, shortly thereafter, worked in the first 1 hour film processing. Ooh. So in a way, I did process my own stuff, but it was through the machines that we had at the store.
I forgot about the 1 hour photo, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. There was one famous one. It's escaping me. And they even had like freestanding kiosks where you would drive up, and then you give them your film. You can come back an hour later. But yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah, there was a camera store in Philadelphia, and I think they were also in New York, called Ritz Cameras.
That was a chain of stores. Yes.
Yeah, and they had the same machines, but they didn't. We were the first one to go photo pronto, and we were the first ones in Philadelphia to do 1 hour processing.
Wow.
So that's where we are. But today, the way I shoot, there is no way I could carry that much film with me.
All right.
I have done 3-day music festivals, and even a 1-day music festival where I shot 10,000 pictures.
That was my next question. Typically, that's an isolated.
On one card.
Wow. Are you shooting in RAW?
Yeah, always.
Oh, I figured that. I mean, the amount of space. I don't know. What's the size of that one card?
512 gigabyte, which is half of a terabyte.
Yeah. Wow. You said you went to a wildlife preserve. Yeah, just having fun, banging off some pictures. Not an event. So that 3-day event, we put that to the side. Very different.
Right.
You're just shooting for pleasure. Maybe get something like the hair on and back of you. How many would you shoot in this?
Okay. Yesterday, I was there. I walked around. I also, like I said, there were snowbirds there too.
Mm-hmm.
And not in a demeaning way, but it's always more fun to, I stop, I talk, hey, what bird is that? And I educate people, and being the teacher that I am, it's part of the job. It never leaves. So I roughly took about 400 pictures, because I'll shoot 3 at a time. And it could be, like I said, with that picture, like of Charlie Daniels that I took, I got the gum in his mouth, and that's why he signed the picture. It just, if you catch the bird in the right second, it's a hit. And if not, it's a blur. So it's just a matter of.
I struggle with, even with my phone, taking pictures, rattling off a whole bunch of them. And then there are times where I will take them and then I'll look at, and I'll go back, delete, just because I want to get ahead of things. And, shit, I don't have time to, take time to go through everything. It starts taking up space. You have limited amount of space on your phone.
Right.
What is the best way? Is it just take pictures, worry about it later? I see it both ways. Some photographers, they'll take a picture, they'll look at it, delete. No, that's not it. Especially portrait photography, they might do 3 in a row and then go back, then on. What do you think?
What was told to me a long time ago, film is the cheapest part of the job. Get the picture. And it's just that. Now, this was yesterday morning. This was taken with my cell phone. And it just shows you the clouds. I mean, I did this as a selfie. It wasn't anything, I didn't mean it anything more than say, hey, I was here, that kind of thing. But you can see that the way the sky is, and hopefully where we talk again, I'll have some of the pictures that, I took that morning. But it's just a matter of, you take what you take, and sometimes, you have to take 2 or 3 selfies in order to get my chin is up, or
yeah. Or you the angle, even of the water, like you captured the water in the sky right there. I mean, you can see even just a wave, crashing a little bit.
It was a beautiful morning, and there's like so few. This was about 5 or 7. Yeah, 5 or 7. And it was just after first light, but before sunrise. And the way that the clouds were, you only saw a slit of the sun at any one time. You never saw that, the picture that's a classic of the arc of the sun and it rising, and you see, and that's just that.
And this is without any processing too, right?
That's no processing at all.
Wow.
That is a raw picture. You can't get any more raw than that.
All right, silly question, maybe not. Even on your phone, you said the word raw. And by the way, for everybody, raw is it's what true photographers shoot in, because it's a large file size and you can manipulate, and it's, you want quality.
It has all of the data, because digital cameras are nothing more than recorders of ones and zeros.
Yep.
I'm going to send you a picture that my older daughter took a number of years ago. And on that pier, that was in Ventnor, New Jersey, and that's the Ventnor Fishing Pier. And I guess photography now runs in the family because it was my mother that always was taking pictures, and that's what I do. And my older daughter took this picture. She did not know that the man on the pier was me.
All right. Say that again.
Okay. My daughter took a picture of the sunrise, and I think this is yes, the man on the left on the pier.
Yeah. I see it.
That's me.
So she just randomly went out there.
Realize that was me.
So she was there. You were there, a little bit of a distance apart. Didn't even know that you were there, both there at the same time.
Right.
That's crazy.
And that was from about 3 blocks away.
Wow. You know, what an interesting picture, because you've got there's a certain feeling, and I'm taking it on my screen and cropping it so that the sun is almost to the edge of the right-hand side and you're on the left-hand side, and you get a real feeling of somebody just call it in solitude, sitting in silence, collecting their thoughts, enjoying that moment with the sun. Wow. Does she have any aspirations, for photography?
No,
She
no,
pictures?
not at all. She said, "Dad, you're obsessed." And I said, "Yeah, and
and what's wrong with that? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with your set. Do not adjust the horizon. Do not.
Wow. You should, grab that picture from her and now process it and turn it into, one of your artistic works. That'd be kind of cool. All right, here, hon. Remember this?
Yeah. I'm trying to find. Oh, okay. Here we go. I want to show you one picture from that day that I took from the pier. And
so it was the same day.
Well, this pier picture that I'm going to send you two. One is an actual photograph, I believe, and the other is my artistic rendering of it. And I'm just sorry that they, whoever your audience is, can't see them, but that's just, those two pictures are the same picture.
Maybe for future we do a screen share. You bring them up, and we could talk about that.
Can we do that?
No, 100%. There, you have just been unable to do.
Oh, okay. So let me. Oh, duh! I forgot.
There we go.
Okay, so I have to see. Oh, wait a minute, screen share. Those are pictures that are from that event. As you can see, I have everything is in folders. Everything is in folders.
I gotta imagine your organizational skills got to be pretty top notch for all the pictures you take, knowing where they are.
Let's just say it's obsessive compulsive.
It needs to be, though.
Yeah. And I think that was 2017.
This is actually really cool because it's almost like behind the scenes for a photographer artist.
There we go. And I'm going to do it like a slideshow. Here, we'll start here. Is this picture being shown?
No, I'm not seeing it full size. I just see all the thumbnails.
So I don't know how we can get it to the picture.
Did you double clicked it and it didn't show?
Yeah, I double clicked it and I double clicked on one of the pictures and it's not evidently it's not showing. So how about we just stop and we go back to our
Yeah, I believe when
conversation?
you do your share, you have to
Do it
initially
from my end.
show
Yeah.
what you want to show.
Okay. So we can stop. We'll do it next time. But let's get to the galleries.
Sure.
And um, one of the things that um, you and I were talking about before we actually went live was photo art is art. And you see that in the last two pictures that I sent you,
Sure.
and everything else that I've shown. And I think sometimes, we were talking about the girl with the pearl earring picture that I saw at this other gallery for, let's just say it was more than 10 grand, probably closer to 30. And it was painted on 3.5 inch floppies. Now, for those of our audience that doesn't know what a 3.5 inch floppy is, it used to be the way that data was transferred and stored back in the day when computers were still young.
Tell me if I'm tell them if I'm my memory's right here. 1.4 meg per floppy.
Right, exactly. 1.44.
Ooh, look at you.
When you taught computers
Okay.
at that time, and I can remember to load, I think it was Adobe or Word. Perfect. It was something on the order of 14 to 20 3.5 inch floppy disks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How times have changed.
You've just brought back such a memory. I remember my friend giving me Corel Draw. He's like, yeah, I got it if you want it. And it was on those floppy disks, and it was about 20. And you'd have to sit there, load it in, wait for it to be done. Shows you on the screen, pop it out, put the next one in there, do it in the right order.
The next one. Here,
Yep.
we have a thumb drive, and then I have other floppy. This is like a 4 terabyte portable drive.
Sure.
In the day, when there was Lime Share, before the music industry clamped down. LimeWire.
Yeah.
All of my music is on here.
Yep.
So if I want to play something, I play it. And the funny thing about, talk about sharing and whatnot, is I've been posting pictures or video clips that Apple put together for me with music. I posted onto Facebook because it's an interesting thing. And then Facebook, about a year later or 2 years later, says there's been a claim from the people that hold the rights to that music. They said, hey, the only reason I put it up was because Apple put it there. It's not because I put it there. So, most of the claims have been set aside. But this afternoon, I got one from Sony Music because they think I'm making money from it. So, or they're being denied. But anyway, art is art, and it doesn't make a difference what the paintbrush is.
Sure.
And, so I think some of the galleries have to stop being so refined and hoi polloi to take the title of a video short or a movie short from the Three Stooges. I don't know how familiar you are with the Stooges, but I can remember growing up and watching them on TV right after school.
You numbskull.
I got a
Yeah.
Funny thing about it is, I found out later on in life that I was related to Larry Fine through marriage.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't a direct blood relative, but the pictures anyway. Um, and it was just wild. And I wrote to him before he passed away. He was just living in the Hollywood motion picture home. And then a couple of years later, he passed away. But he wrote back, and I told him how we're kind of like extended family. And it was kind of neat that he wrote back, and he sent me a couple of pictures, but somebody else had signed them, sadly, because he had this stroke. And but to just even be connected by family is kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean, just back in the day, I'm actually gonna intentionally look because I want to see all of them when they passed. I love reading about their lives and things like that. That this is.
I actually saw Mo Howard in, I think it was Marlton, New Jersey, like the year before he passed away. And I have it on 8 or Super 8 millimeter film.
Oh.
No sound, but it's there. And one of these days I have to transfer it over to video. But yeah, it was a privilege to see him because being a Stooge fan.
Yeah. Now you bring back memories. I used to go to the library as a kid, really, 10, and they would have not Super 8, but 8 millimeter. There wasn't even sound on my projector, but I would throw them up there and like, "All right, Mom, sister, come in the living room. We're going to watch." I'd be able to watch it on demand, as opposed to waiting for it to come on TV. We're just about out of time. Always great talking with you. You have so much depth in terms of what you do, media, art, of course, photography. If somebody wants to check out your limited edition prints and artwork, how do they do that?
Limited editions by Allen.com. I'm having a tax investment sale, 10% off of anything online. I may be putting some more pictures up. They're coming. I started to add sizes, and if somebody sees a picture and they want it in a different size, I'm willing to print it that way for the pictures that I've had up there before. It's just so much work to redo some of the things. But one of these days when I get a day off, which is rare, but I'll start doing the resizing and repricing of the smaller sizes. It just goes on and on. And if they want to contact me, they can contact me through the website, through the Global Podcast.
Sure. And I'm going to say this too. And it is a cliche, but you hear it all the time, but it rings so true. You have something for everyone. Every category you could imagine in terms of photography, art, you're going to find it there. Again, and by the way, very easy to find. I can be on there for hours. Oh, look at this. What am I feeling? Wildlife. Let me go there. Let me go to, nature photos. So great stuff. Check it out. It's so great talking with you, Alan, and looking forward next time we get together.
Yeah, it should be, I think, next week. I think. Whatever. Here, let's see, 226. Next week, the end of next week.
All right. I'm going to dig out my old cameras, see if I can bring them to the table.
All righty.
All right. We'll catch up then.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.